Borda, welcome to Expansive. I am Yar Tomlu, and this is the second episode of the Telltale Batman series called Children of Arkham. Now, you're introduced to the first episode. There was a lot of kind of crucial plot threads that were developing. You're introduced to a lot of key characters like Selina Kyle and Oswald Cobblepot, Commissioner Gordon, and also some kind of sub-characters like Vicky Vale. And what's really interesting with this is that you've kind of now had the seeds sown a little bit in the first episode, and now things are gradually progressing as you would expect. Now, you've kind of entering spoiler territory a little bit here. Obviously, you found out that Bruce and Oswald Cobblepot were kind of friends at a young age. So now that kind of relationship is kind of spiraling in a direction as you might expect if you're kind of into the Batman lore. But what's really interesting about this episode most of all is Bruce's exploration of his past, of his mother and his father and the murder. And you're kind of seeing this opening sequence here with Alfred where you're actually witnessing the murder again as a young Bruce. But you're kind of realizing that that murder is actually linking into current events. So Bruce's kind of quest at the moment is seeing how this all pans out and how it all kind of links in with what he's currently facing in Gotham City. As you say, Troy Baker is back as Batman. He's doing a fantastic job of articulating the struggles of Bruce Wayne as he tries to escape the shadows of his past, while he's jostling through the turmoil and of a tumultuous society and this kind of Gotham City that's almost on the edge of a knife, and it feels as if it's just going to tumble one way or the other. But it's all about recollection, remembering, his revelations about the Wayne family, and it's a fascinating perspective as we never really explore that night in the Batverse. And it's very interesting to see this from a very new perspective. I mean, you learn some kind of new information, like when Bruce and his father and his mother were taken to the theatre, the reason they went to that same theatre and saw the movie being Bruce's favourite movie is because his mother actually arranged for that same film to be placed all the time whenever Bruce wanted to see it. So kind of using their influence and their power for that. And that's a nice, unique perspective. It's something very different, something that you don't really hear much about when you like watch Batman films or you read Batman comics, but it's actually brought out this new dimension in that story in a very familiar and a very well-told arc. And it also still has very much relevance and importance in this universe. And you're kind of assessing the criminal circuit in the force as well, kind of what's happening on the face of things, what lies underneath Gotham City's police department, and the connection to the past being as strong as the present. And you're just looking at the character models as well. The water on the character models is really impressive. The shadow effects is quite magnificent. You see in real detail, like for instance in the first episode you notice where Batman is scratched by Catwoman. You see that kind of those scars all throughout the episode. So kind of that continuity is being kept intact. And there's just a lot of considerations of how you tackle situations. Would Batman be a better fit for a particular situation, or would Bruce Wayne be a better fit? You're seeing the crowd play here. Now, as well, that sort of form was a little bit shaky in the first episode, but now it's actually working really, really well. You can actually have one person on a phone deciding what happens in the game, or the person on the keyboard dictating the action. The host or the crowd can actually decide what ultimately happens in the game. And as I say, there's a degree of inevitability about the whole exchanges that you've been having in the Batverse so far when you've met Oz, Selina, Dent and Vicky. All the narrative development for these characters and the ending, that these things that change irreparably in the Batverse, you feel that these things have been coming for a while, but it's all about discovering them in new ways and obviously coming to terms with how that affects the ultimate end game and where the episodes are going to go from that point forward. But this has really been a great episode, and it's an episode more about Bruce Wayne and his family. And for me, this has been a really good change of pace from the first episode, and it's really showing what this series can become. I've really enjoyed the second episode. I think there's a lot to take away from it, and I'm really excited for the rest of the season. But we're going to watch and see how this progresses and continues to develop. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you've been thinking about this episode and the series as a whole. We'll see you next time.